this is how they chose to spend their evening. Hey everybody, welcome back. And today I thought we would look at a video by Sam and Colby because my sibling sent it to me and it's a bunch of crap. And I may have been half watching it, supposed to be taking notes, completely did not take notes, while I was doing my makeup this morning. So I'm about as prepared as I ever am. And I also have not slept. I tried, I already did try, it was not happening. I needed to record today and it was like 7 AM and I was like, I give up. None of my usual tricks worked, so go grab a drink, I've got tea, maybe get a snack, consider liking the video, consider subscribing, and let's join a very sleep-deprived para in whatever bullshittery this is going to be. I will see you on the other side. Okay, so this is the video, The Devil Followed Me Home. Convenient. I haven't checked out the comments yet, so I just want to scroll through. I am not seeing anything in here really other than blind faith and delusion. I'm not going to comment on all of this video. We are not going to watch all of this video. I do not have the patience today to debunk all the app bullshit, to be honest. So I do lack an understanding in how some of the apps work, and I'm not going to sit here and figure out which one they're using, etc. There are other debunkers that are far better than that. Are far better at that than I am, so I'm sure one of them have covered it at some point. What I mostly want to focus on is the fact that they have attachments and spirits or whatever coming out of the Dybbuk box. And I'm just going to allow space for the collective sigh that we're all going to give because we all know exactly what that means. Please, join me. It can't just be me. But for any of you that don't know, which is probably most of you, I don't know, we're gonna get educated today. So we're probably just gonna... I should have taken notes. I really should have taken notes. I really should have timestamps. I do not. But let's just get started, see what happens, and Trevor can edit this mess and piece it together somehow. We love Trevor.
What's up guys, it's Sam and Colby.
Tonight we're going to be investigating one of the most crazily active haunted houses in America and possibly the world. Our house.
Over the years we've opened dozens of demonic boxes inside this house. We've held rituals, but recently things have gotten worse. We've been hearing noises,
Hello?
We've been seeing things, and eventually we found out that something wanted to hurt us.
So the question tonight is not if our house is haunted, but it's where did these hauntings originate?
But to our surprise, the place that we call our home, you heard again, proved to be a living hell.
Okay, I'm gonna skip the whole showboating part with Project Fear.
One of the main reasons why we think this house is so haunted is because of the Dybbuk boxes that we opened in the basement. These boxes are said to contain a Dybbuk, which in Jewish folklore is a malevolent wandering demon that can possess the body of a living person.
And because we're dumbasses trying to prove the paranormal, we have opened 13 of these boxes, starting only 4 days after we moved into this house.
We might have opened 13 Dybbuk boxes.
Are you kidding me?
Guys, that's exactly what this is.
I think we figured it out.
All right, wrapping it up. See you guys.
But also we've all of us collectively have been to so many haunted places that who knows what could have possibly followed us back, especially after we learned what Amanda said in the FaZe Rug video.
I have an envelope that I wrote for you guys before I came here.
Sam and Colby, you guys have something dark. It followed you from another country.
Basically, after the Hell Week stunt we collectively did.
I didn't take part in it.
We both were really excited to do that video. Amanda literally gave us an envelope. She said something followed us from the UK, outside of the country. She knew that we went there and did this ritual with a witch. Right?
Because people in the paranormal community don't talk. That wouldn't have passed through the grapevine at all. Sure. So far it's performative slop. It starts as it means to go on. As always. They are essentially claiming that the hauntings are from the night they summoned the devil and the Dybbuk boxes that they've opened. I don't know how they milk this for an hour, but they turn the breaker off in the house. They do an Estes Method, because of course they do. They do a sponsored ad. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they were doing a collab with Project Fear, or Project Fear were just like in the area, needed a place to crash or whatever, and they're like, yeah, sure. And they were like, we're bored. Should we do a My House is Haunted video? They get a medium on the phone at some point. I don't know what I expected. I don't think I expected anything, but I didn't expect Sam and Colby to live together. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just didn't expect it. One thing they did was like, oh, it's talking about going down. It obviously wants us to go to the basement where we open the Dybbuk boxes, but then it keeps saying up as well. So it obviously wants us to go up to Sam's room where we do all the rituals. And it's just like, okay, it's saying both things. So whatever. Oh yeah, and then they do rudimentary tarot with a deck of cards. Hi, baby. We having a curry. Hi, little girl. Oh, ow. That's my hair. Yeah, they do rudimentary tarot with playing cards. Nothing wrong with that, but, you know, they're just milking it for all it's worth, like normal. You know, using it to confirm there's entities in the house. And something that also got me as well was like, they normally do this, but it's like they'll get a confirmation or an answer for something, but then for like the next hour, they're like, oh, we don't have confirmation for this. We don't have confirmation for this. We don't have confirmation. Like, do you have confirmation or don't you? Because so far you've got confirmation like 5 times for something, and you're like, oh, we still don't have confirmation for this. All right, yeah, they do like this whole vortex thing, so we're gonna watch this because, like, the fuck.
Alright guys, this is our plan. We want to see if we can rid one of these entities, especially the ones that are dark. But obviously none of us are mediums, we're not witchcraft stuff, we didn't bring any extra tools. However, we have this box. We have created and blessed it with protective sigils, as well as made our very own homemade vortex.
Yo, double mirror?
Double mirror, and basically what's gonna happen is once we close this, it'll become a vortex and trap the person inside. So all we need to do is figure out how to get said thing into the briefcase and then sage it so that we can escort it out of the house. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, well, we gotta like somehow convince this thing ourselves.
Oh no, it's a lot of pressure.
Definitely goes back to one of the words when you were under contract.
Yeah, dude.
First, we'll try to get some answers and just see if someone's down here. But what we can do is we can put this down and put a motion sensor next to it to see if anything enters the briefcase. Once that happens, if we close it up, sage it, lock it, it should act roughly like a Dybbuk box itself, hopefully. We don't know if this is actually gonna work, but this is our best shot.
This is the only thing we can do, I feel like.
Yeah.
It is so dramatic. As storytelling, as like entertainment craft, this is pretty cool. But they're not selling it like that. They're selling it as if it's real. So Sam and Colby fans are like a phenomena. Or no, enigma to me, because a lot of them are like, yeah, it's fake, whatever, it's entertaining, we like it. Cool. Good on you. No issue. But then some of them are like, nah, it's like 100% real. Are we watching the same things? Because unless you're like 12 and really don't know better, which fair enough if you are we watching the same thing? To be fair, and I've started noticing this a lot in videos just lately, is if you believe the apps, or if you believe the stories, they tell good stories. A lot of them, they tell good stories. And if you take their stories at face value, I can see how and why people get sucked in, especially if it confirms biases to their personal beliefs, etc. But if you apply any form of critical thinking to said story, it starts to crack and it starts to crumble. And I just don't think people apply any sort of critical thinking to anything that aligns with their belief system. I mean, some people do. Props to them, some people do, but a lot of people don't. And I think that's why so many people believe this shit. But anyway, let's continue with this because it's dramatic as fuck. And that's what we're here to watch, apparently. Nearly 9 AM. I don't think I've ever recorded this early, for the record. I'm normally dragging my arm. No, I'm not even out of bed yet. I normally drag my ass up at about 9, between 9 and 10 to record. And then I do my face, which takes anywhere between 20 minutes and an hour, depending on how fast I'm being and how tired I am. Why am I telling you this? I don't know. May cut it out, may not. I guess we'll see. I'm just chatting bullshit because I'm tired. Maybe you're here for that. Anyway, let's watch the video.
Is there anybody down here in the basement with us right now?
You can give us any sound or sign, or you can go up to the spirit box that Dakota's holding right in front of us.
Here.
Here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Is it just one spirit down here?
Naturally, we have to have a whole another Estes method during this part of the video, because how else are they going to get confirmation, reliable confirmation that it's there? Because even this dude, I don't know anything about Project Fear, not going to pretend to. If this dude is not like fake and genuinely believes this shit, he is already well and primed to hear whatever they need him to hear. And if he's fake, then he's just faking it. If they use like the obvious right now or anything like that, then there's too many variables in it. In a situation like this where they need a narrative telling, like a relatively strict narrative telling, they're probably going to default to something more like an Estes method, because either the person's in on it and just faking it for the lore, for the story, or they are significantly primed enough to hear what you need them to hear, probably. There's less variable in that. I don't know why I felt the need to explain that, but I did. So let's carry on.
Or both the entities here with us?
Something.
I mean, that could be referring to like multiple spirits, like they're talking together.
Like the two entities know.
What the?
Something on the table.
Right behind us.
Does that mean it's something from this? Is this a Dybbuk box spirit?
This is where we opened it.
Isn't that a Dybbuk?
Yeah, that's the Dybbuk box.
I don't know if it's from this exact one, but yes, this is where we opened all the Dybbuk boxes where Dakota sit in.
Is that correct? The spirit that's here with us is one that we opened from the Dybbuk box?
You did it.
You guys were opening us Dybbuk boxes.
That makes perfect sense. You guys did it. You guys opened. You guys like brought this spirit in. Can we understand the intention?
Table. We did it on the table. Look, you can even see like wax from when we were opening Dybbuk boxes.
Yeah,
you see that?
Look at all this wax and stuff. On the table is where we're trying to get the Dybbuk anyway, like in this box.
That means it's got to be the Dybbuk then, right?
Yeah. Speaking of, guys, we're actually going to put this REM pod right next to the box. That way, if anything goes into this box,
We're using a motion sensor, but you know, our motion sensor's set off not only by motion, but like temperature and EMF as well, question mark? I keep forgetting if it is or not. I don't know, I don't care. But not something that we could fake easily at all, ever, at the right time.
we can close it up and make sure that we capture said demon, or at least hopefully. As soon as that goes off, we know that something went towards our little vortex that we created. Is your intention to harm us?
Or kill.
Oh god.
It said
Oh, I don't even want to say that, guys. It just said something about Sam.
What the fuck?
Something referring to you?
So what's to harm Sam?
Where did this other spirit come from? We know there's a protector, a Dybbuk box spirit. Where was the other one?
Far.
The thing that traveled with you guys.
Oh my god.
The UK spirit.
From the UK.
We've gotten that a couple times tonight. That was like, it's the one that's traveled with us.
Pendle Hill?
Pendle Hill, maybe.
I mean, could this be the
devil?
Yeah, I don't want to say it.
I don't think it would actually be the devil.
Were we
What are you?
If it was actually the devil, I would expect something a bit more significant than a moving blind and a moving door and a few knocks on a table. Know what I mean? If you think of the devil, you think like infinite sources of power and destruction. Not even that. It's just like, I don't even know if I'm actually going to pick that up, but I guess we'll see.
Did you take?
Question. Did you take?
Did we take something from Pendle Hill?
I don't think we did.
Think.
Think.
Oh god.
Did we? Did you actually?
I don't
By
know.
accident?
Wait, maybe not something physical, but something spiritual.
Oh, we took something back.
Dude,
Oh,
you took something back.
this thing that like a
Oh, we can't make it work, so we're gonna suck a group project for their Wattpad fan fiction.
Amanda was warning us about, the things that we've been worried about, something that we took home from that investigation.
Sam again.
No way.
Oh my
That's actually too perfect.
Wait, that's crazy.
What?
What the fuck?
You touched me.
No one touched him. I'm right near him. I'm not even near him. I'm not even near him.
Fuck?
Dude, I'm right
No one's
here.
near you.
I'm right here.
No one's
no
near
one touched you.
You guys didn't just like touch my shoulder to get me out?
Swear to
No.
Oh, what the fuck?
What did you feel?
I literally thought you were just like touching me like.
I've been like a foot away.
Yeah, he's been the farthest, and I'm way over here.
Dude,
It's gentle.
if you're still okay to keep going, we're getting some crazy answers.
Yeah.
Is this spirit that you guys took back?
Could be fake. Could just be nervous system stuff. In the dark, in the basement, in a spooky situation, filming a ghost video. You are either a chronic faker, like a fake faker, or you are a believer who actually is believing in this story, thinking you're dealing with multiple entities. You're blindfolded. It could have been his shirt adjusting. It could have been a micro movement that just made things move a little bit. It could have been his imagination, or it could have been like, oh, I feel like I've been in here a long time, and then he imagined the touch because they're like, oh, well, they're trying to get me out. It could have been many things that weren't a spirit or entity or whatever touched him,
Back? Is it also harmful? Because we never got a clear answer upstairs. Like, does this thing also want to kill you?
Fuck. Diamonds.
Diamonds. Is there a specific thing that you want from Sam?
Go.
Why did you pick?
We'll get to that.
I was gonna say, why did you pick Sam, and it cut me off.
That's scary. Either way, out of both of those questions, that would have been such a scary answer.
You asked, what do you want with Sam? He said, go. Like, go with you.
Do you get more power by going from place to place?
Pain. That's me.
Wait. I wasn't even going to mention this because I thought I was just being a little bitch. I got the weirdest lower back pain over the last 2 minutes. And it's just
From the card game, but
yeah.
Just telling you though, pain, that's me.
Pain, that's me.
Dude, you're in your 30s, you're gonna acquire the weirdest back pain just from existing.
That's the attachment.
And
That's
don't they say it's in your back?
But something like that. We've heard that before from other investigators, that any attachment starts in your back. Is there any way that we could help you find a new home? We'd love to help you out to get out of here if you're looking to move.
Oh, can we start like a ghost real estate business? We help ghosts relocate.
A laugh.
It's like mocking you.
Yeah.
Something about water.
Cool investigation.
Like, think back to that. The contract?
Yes.
Contract!
Said that!
Oh my god!
Dude, he answered that
full chills.
immediately. Contract.
That was insane.
Dude, deal that you made with the devil? Is that what it's talking about?
Maybe. Well, mine wasn't a deal. I think what he's saying is
Laughter again.
I don't know, make a deal. Well, like I was saying upstairs, I think we got an offer or something. That's what I'm trying to say, come get him a new home. What can we give these spirits that would make them not want to be here?
Are you both willing to go?
How do we...
Hurry up.
No way.
my
Okay,
God.
this thing is.
Why do you stay? Maybe we figure that out.
Him.
Why do you
Is that you? Is that you?
Oh my god. What's he want? Oh fuck. Do you remember at the very end of the whole session when we did the deal with the devil, the witch was saying that his main intention is to help me find the dark side?
The dark
Dude,
palette?
what?
Will you help me understand that side of myself?
Yes, with pleasure.
So he's not gonna leave.
Help us.
Help us!
Oh fuck.
Are you able to help us somehow get the Dybbuk into the box?
The goal is to get this thing that wants to kill you or hurt you guys away.
Perfect world would be both of them somehow.
We'd love for you to help us put the Dybbuk box demon into this briefcase. Can you do that?
I have a crazy idea. What if you demand that it does that? Something's following you and looking up to you. Possibly it wants to show you the darker ways. So at least we're working with them. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well,
So we're not getting the answers that we want. So now we have to hard pivot. This is improv. This is improv. This is acting. Yes, and
I demand you to rid this whole house of darker spirits, help us out, and send any unwanted energies into this room.
if that's your motion sensor, because it's in the box, then surely it would have completely just dead stopped when they slammed that briefcase closed. If the entity was in the briefcase, which is a vortex portal, whatever, because of the two mirrors, it wouldn't be outside the box anymore, so there wouldn't be anything outside the box for it to still be freaking out about. So it's just a piece of tech glitching on a table with 4 dudes shouting at it, pretending there's an entity in a briefcase with 2 mirrors glued inside it. This is how they chose to spend their evening.
What?
Yo.
What the fuck just happened? I did.
Oh, and it won't shut up, so let's just turn it off so we can carry on with the story.
I did.
The second you demanded it, that went off.
That was insane. Wait, first, before we do anything, let's get this out of the house, okay?
Oh my god.
Take that out.
What was that?
Holy shit. Oh my god. Holy fuck.
Just in case this actually worked, we don't want to take any chances, so we want to just bring this out immediately. But we don't know if this is going to work. We all know vortexes, these double mirrors, are the things that attract spirits. Plus, as soon as we close this in, this whole thing is wrapped with protective sigils and blessed by a witch. Let's take this far away from the property.
Let's do it.
So they took it out of the house to bless it, to bring it back through the house. Sure.
By light and will.
Why did you open it? Surely if you open it, the entity can get out and can fuck off while you're doing whatever the fuck this is. Your little performance witchcraft. Surely it would have made more sense to burn it closed. Okay.
Seal this box. One demon
You don't seal this box because you opened it.
now. You have no hold. Be gone, be bound, be cast away.
Oh, it's so edgy and cinematic. Now, because we just watched 4 grown men be edgy in the house for, well, we didn't watch it for an hour, but, you know, they put out an hour video on it. And we had to watch that very cinematic scene of them climbing up the hill into a quarry, maybe? I don't know. A rocky area. We are now going to read about Dybbuk boxes. I'm dyslexic. Bear with me. I'm going to try my best. Also, I will link everything. Everything will be linked in the description, as always. And also, I forgot. I have been criticised for well, no, I wasn't criticised. It was assumed that I only use Kenny Biddle as a resource. I do not. But I purposely went out of my way to find a resource that was not Kenny Biddle this time. So, screw that person. Oh, the Dybbuk is grounded in Jewish folklore, but the Dybbuk box, that's another story. The Dybbuk box, featured in Season 2, Episode 4 of Ghost Adventures Quarantine, is linked to an item sold on eBay by previous owner Kevin Manis. Manis said that the box used to belong to a Holocaust survivor, and he believed that the spirit of a Dybbuk, a malicious entity from Jewish mythology, haunted and cursed the box. Subsequent owners kept the alleged curse alive by repeating it. One of them, Jason Haxton, director of the Museum of the Osteopathic, medicine in Kirksville, MO, wherever that is. I love that Americans just expect everybody else to know their state shorthands. Sorry, I have other more important things to know. Created a website elevating the curse to internet fame, a la creepypasta Slenderman. Oh, I love Slenderman. Before selling the rights to the production company for the movie, The Possession. However, further claims have been made, causing many to question its authenticity. So let's dig deeper into the Dybbuk box to separate paranormal fact from fiction. Criticism. Cal State anthropology professor and folklore specialist Dr. Elliot Oring, I will say if I butcher any names, I am so sorry, criticised the Dybbuk box story, claiming it had areas that seemed to require suspending critical functions. After his 2014 investigation of it, skeptic Brian Dunning said, "Nowhere in folkloric literature is there precedent for a Dybbuk inhabiting a box or other inanimate object." But the most damning piece of criticism came from the original seller himself, Kevin Manis, who posted online, "I am the original creator of the story of the Dybbuk box, which appeared in one of my eBay posts back in 2003. If you or anyone else can find any reference to a Dybbuk box anywhere in history before my eBay post, I'll pay you $100,000 and tattoo your name on my forehead. What is the truth behind the Dybbuk box? Is it a paranormal artifact which dates back to centuries old Jewish folklore, or is it just a hoax?" Paranormal explanation. Jewish folklore describes the Dybbuk as a disembodied human spirit, cast away from its own body due to the sins committed by its owner. It is condemned to wander indefinitely or until it can find a human to possess. Only a rabbi, words I'm not even going to attempt, I'm sorry, could perform an exorcism to expel it once a possession would have occurred. They can redeem the soul and provide tikkun, restoration, through transmigration, or force the Dybbuk to enter hell. The Dybbuk was believed to not only possess the body of its victims, but also inflict mental illness. Of course, because, there wouldn't be a rational explanation for mental illness and it has to be an entity. The term Dybbuk was also known as an evil spirit, or I'm going to butcher that, so absolutely not, in the Talmudic, literature, or unclean spirit in the New Testament. Its origins can be traced to Jewish literature in 17th century Germany and Poland, and was referred to as Dybbuk mi-ruha. I ended up saying it anyway. Mi-ruha, a cleavage of an evil spirit. Okay. Or Dybbuk minha hizanim, Dybbuk from the outside. Allegedly at first to be evil or demonic entities possessing the body of a sick person, the definition was later adjusted to define the spirits of dead persons not laid to rest. The idea developed alongside the belief in Dybbukim, where sinful souls were not allowed to transmigrate due to the severity of their sins. So the term Dybbuk does exist in Jewish folklore and literature. However, there is no proof that a Dybbuk box exists, and there is no reference to any physical evidence of it. Scientific explanation. Historical references can be found anchoring the idea of a Dybbuk to the 16th century, where mystic Isaac Luria, 1534 to 1572, developed the idea of the Dybbuk within his doctrine for the transmigration of souls. The idea of possession by a Dybbuk was introduced by his disciples. The idea was resurrected in the 1916 Yiddish play The Dybbuk by Hebrew scholar and folklorist Estes, which features the story of a young man dying after using a mixture of dark arts, Jewish, I know how to say that word but I forgot, we're going with Kabbalah, I don't think that's not correct, and folklore, and the ghost which possessed the body of the bride he wanted to marry. In terms of paranormal or scientific evidence to support the veracity of a Dybbuk box as a valid and justifiable artifact, unfortunately there isn't much, with very few alleged boxes and no scientific way to validate them. Well, not that few, if, Sam and Colby opened 13 of them, apparently. The Dybbuk box and its allegedly cursed contents seem to be nothing more than a myth. But what of other possible explanations to bring the Dybbuk box away from myth and closer to reality? Well, there's two proposals. I will present two potential hypotheses to view the Dybbuk box from a different angle. These two ideas will be based on the hypotheses that there is a locked box containing a variety of items, or none at all, and that a strange event followed the opening of the box. However, the box is not cursed. Poltergeist activity. The first potential theory to explain what could be viewed as abnormal activity can be linked to a poltergeist. Poltergeist activity is a paranormal event usually identified through loud noises, objects being moved or displaced, and reappearing at a different location and time. Doors being opened and slammed. That was, abrupt. The theory is that these events are caused unintentionally by an individual who is usually unaware they are the source of it, going through a traumatic event. Haunted people syndrome. Anyway, that's a theory that I like. There's fuck all evidence or proof or anything of it, but it is a theory that I like nonetheless. It's alleged that it is their latent psychic ability reacting to external trauma. In an article we wrote, we created the term Conan to describe the individual with poltergeist-causing abilities. So here's the theory. What if the paranormal activity is happening after the box is open, is not caused by the box itself or any curse, but the Conan putting themselves into a state of consciousness prone to releasing poltergeist activity? The idea of opening a haunted box with a malevolent spirit or demon inside, or the fear of the unknown, fuels negative energy. If you consider the idea of mass hysteria, this theory looks a lot more realistic than the idea of a demon in a cursed box. I like that. I don't know how plausible it is, but I like that. They're basically saying, if we are taking the concept of haunted people syndrome, and we are also taking this poltergeist phenomenon, which is attached to trauma, and also saying that, you know, it's not necessarily mass hysteria because it's like an individual, but somebody can upset and stress themselves so much, then they psychosomatically have this experience there, whether it's their nervous system, which, you know, we still don't fully understand, creating this sort of energy or whatever, but stress does go through the nervous system. It goes through the vagus nerve and all the rest of it. So if they are upsetting themselves and the nervous system is involved in some capacity, that is really interesting. And I like that as a theory. Again, not saying it's possible, but as a theory, not bad. Tulpa is the other one. Another theory to provide an alternative explanation to the Dybbuk box would be a tulpa created during the Philip experiment. The Philip experiment was a parapsychology experiment that took place in 1972 in Toronto, intending to determine if subjects could communicate with fictionalized ghosts. Well, we can't even communicate with non-fictionalized ghosts, so I don't know. Led by mathematical geneticists, this word, Dr. A.R. George Owen and psychologist Dr. Joel Wooten, they made up a ghost named Philip Aylesford. Complete with backstory, they had a group try to communicate with Philip through a seance. The goal was to determine if a group of subjects could create an entity and communicate with it willfully. Also, it was to validate if subjects would attempt to make up evidence. Unfortunately, even if the idea was original, the fact that you start your scientific experiment by providing falsified, invented and wrong evidence to its participants would automatically void its results of any scientific validity. If you add the fact that it was relying on people's subjective reactions and the fact that there was no possibility of having a test experiment as a base to compare to, then the whole process is just exercise of opinions. But the idea is interesting. Could the belief that willing something to exist be enough to make it manifest? In physics, the answer would be no. Things do not just generate out of nothing. It would be a question of action and reaction. However, if somebody is convinced something exists, it can affect the way that person would analyse and review a series of facts following the experiment. So, it is possible that if somebody believes a box is cursed and opening it would unleash something terrible, that person could attribute any random events following opening that box as direct consequence, which is priming, which is bias confirmation, which is all the things we keep talking about as debunkers. It's psychosomatic. You can induce reactions in people by the power of suggestion. It's a psychological fact. Pandemonium paranormal analysis. Never heard of them. The Dybbuk box got a lot of attention recently due to paranormal TV shows and horror movies, adding to modern paranormal lore. Unfortunately, like too often this is the case, facts are regarded as unnecessary for a fictional story to be told, creating a shock factor that investigators are left to debunk. Just wanna highlight this, that investigators are left to debunk. So the teams that we call out on a video by video basis that don't do this are not investigators. It's that simple. Through our research, we uncovered that Dybbuk is indeed part of Jewish folklore and literature. However, we did not find any physical evidence of any Dybbuk box being a legitimate item. Therefore, from a paranormal standpoint, the Dybbuk box is nothing more than a work of fiction. Mic drop. I need a microphone. Well, I have a microphone, but I need one that I don't mind breaking. Also, Beardo, like a year ago, did a really cool video on the Dybbuk box. So, shout out to Beardo with my titchy nearly 600 subs. Love you guys. But we are shouting out Beardo with his 65k. Yeah, he did a really good video on the Dybbuk box. Go check it out. Can I give you a better picture, like a thumbnail? Yes, I can. This one. It was really good. I will link that in the description as well. So that is all we've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed, maybe, Simon Colby's bullshit and you enjoyed the article that we read. Go check out the original video if you want to suffer, I guess. Go check out Weirdo's video if you haven't seen it already, because it's really cool. Oh, and don't forget scale, which I completely forgot was a thing until right now. Well, no, not until right now. I knew it was a thing, but I forgot I had to tell you it was a thing. So remember that we always run our videos through scale. Separate show from substance. Is this performance or is it proof? Check for consequences, who benefits and who could be harmed. Assess intent versus impact. Good motives don't erase real outcomes. Look for logical alternatives, psychology, editing, environment, etc. And examine your own bias. Why does it feel convincing or not? So, with all that being said, I have been Para. This has been a video. If you liked the video, consider liking the video, consider subscribing. And if you would like more Para for whatever reason, this is the other content that I do. At the time of recording, I am in the middle of reshuffling my schedule around completely again, because I am overworking myself and I am running myself into the ground quite rapidly, and I don't like what that's doing to me. So we are adjusting. But with all that being said, I have rabbited at you for long enough, so I'm going to leave you back to the rest of your day. I'm going to leave you to get back to the rest of your day now. I hope it's a good one, and I will see you next time. Bye!